Hello, welcome to the series of lectures of physics. In today's class of 11, we shall discuss the motion of projectile. Projectile motion is an example of a two-dimensional motion. In the types of motion, we had already discussed one-dimensional motion, definition of one-dimensional motion, definition of two-dimensional motion, and definition of three-dimensional motion. Now, in this today's class, we shall see two-dimensional motion. Projectile motion is an example of two-dimensional motion. That what we mean to discuss such kind of motion. Now we have two axes. Till now, we are devoted our time to learn a one-dimensional motion. Now, we are in good shape to start with two-dimensional motion. Means here there will be two axes that will represent this motion. Two axes are required to describe the motion. So we shall learn how separately we are using the equations on these two straight line differently. So to serve these purposes, what we have to do, we have to take two axes. They are mutually perpendicular to each other. The two axes, for the straight line we always consider a single axis. Now for two-dimensional motion, we have two axes perpendicular to each other. That is the very good example of the Cartesian coordinate that you learn. One we tell x-axis and another will be y-axis or z-axis, any combination of x, y and z. So let's suppose this is our x-axis and this is our y-axis. So when particle just moves on this axis, it is a straight line motion. Means it will follow the path of any straight line. Like this is also a straight line motion. It is a straight line motion. But when it is not on the straight line but moving in this plane, we are talking about this plane. One axis is this, one axis is this. But when the particle is executing its motion in this plane, it will be the example of two-dimensional motion. So now let's consider what happens. Suppose this is our axis, one axis is this and one axis is this for the board. So these two axes makes this particular plane. That particular plane, when we talk about, the particle may move like this. Means it is not on the straight line. Means when the particle is executing its motion, not only a single coordinate but two coordinates are changing at a particular time. So if at any instant of time we are in position to write the coordinate in Cartesian form x, y, means x and y, these two coordinates are changing with time, it means it is an example of two-dimensional motion. Projectile motion is a special case of two-dimensional motion. It means it is an example of two-dimensional motion. So what we do for the projectile motion, how the projectile will come in picture. So for to have the motion in two-dimensional motion, it has to be that the initial velocity and the acceleration, are not on a particular single line. So it is an example of, when we see, it is an example of two-dimensional motion. Two-dimensional motion. Meaning that two axes are required to describe the motion. Meaning that two coordinates let's say x and y are changing with time. Because for the definition of motion, we say that if the position of a particle is changing in time. So, position means what? If only one coordinate is changing, it is one dimensional motion or the motion on a straight line. But when two dimensional motion, when we talk about two dimensional motion, x and y both coordinates are changing. So, now the question is how these things will occur. Now the question is how these things will occur. To have the two dimensional motion means to have the two dimensional motion, initial velocity and the acceleration are not on a straight line, means this will not happen that if you give this initial velocity u in this direction and acceleration happens either in this direction or this direction. That may not be the case, because in this case when u is parallel or u is anti-parallel to a, it is one dimensional motion, one dimension. When u not parallel or anti-parallel, parallel not or anti-parallel not, a, here is u, its two dimension. Its two dimensions means when initial velocity, when a particle is given an initial velocity which is parallel to the acceleration, or acceleration and initial velocity is parallel to or anti-parallel to each other, it is two dimensional motion. And but when this is not like that, one dimensional motion, and when it is not like that, it is an example of two dimensional motion. It is an example of two dimensional motion. So, for two dimensional motion, it must be there that the initial velocity is given to a particle in such a way that the acceleration does not occur in the same direction or the direction opposite to the initial velocity, means parallel and anti-parallel. When we say parallel and anti-parallel, what does it mean? We are talking about 0 degree and 180 degree. 0 degree and 180 degree. So, what will happen here? Here u is given in such a way that u and a angle is not 0 degree or 180 degree. 0 degree or 180 degree. So, angle should be in between 0 degree and 180 degree, because when it is 0 degree in this direction, when it is 180 degree, it is in opposite direction. So, the motion will be in a straight line. So, it is a necessary condition for a particle to be in projectile motion that u and a angle is never 0 and 180 degree. Right. So, write it down. We shall write the definition and we shall proceed further with some good equations of projectile motion. Write it down. So, what happens? when a particle is given an initial velocity in such a way that a constant force, constant acceleration acts or occurs, acts at an angle 0 degree less than theta less than 180 degree with initial velocity. The particle moves in a plane and called projectile motion. That is the definition of the projectile motion. Okay, if you give the initial velocity and acceleration happens in such a way that there is an angle between u and a, and that angle is in between 0 and 180 degree, the particle will execute its motion in a plane, and that particular motion will be called a projectile motion. So that is fine. So what we do actually to discuss the projectile motion, what we have, suppose now just write it down also. Suppose a particle is given an initial velocity u and the acceleration that is constant one. Remember that the acceleration has to be constant. The acceleration is g. The particle moves near the Earth's surface, and performs projectile motion. So now it does not mean only that the projectile can happen only on the Earth's surface. We shall discuss here the problems mainly on the Earth's surface here, but there may be some other fields, electric field, magnetic field, like that. So we shall study it on later. Constant acceleration has to be there, means that the constant force will act on the particle. But if we talk about the particle that has to be moved, that has to execute its motion. So here in this case, what happens? The velocity u and acceleration g, cannot be in the same direction. There must be angle. So how it can be? Suppose this is the earth surface. This is the earth surface. This is our x-axis and this is our y-axis. This is vertically upward. So acceleration is in this direction, and when you give the velocity u at an angle of theta with the x-axis, or you can say that from the y-axis, nothing to do with it. So when the particle is giving the u, so what will happen? The particles will follow the path like this. The particle will follow the path like this. In this way, suppose कि at some height on the ground you give the particle a velocity, what will happen? This particle will execute. This is also a particle of projectile motion. Third one we can take. Suppose this is a plane. This is a plane. That particular plane already makes an angle some theta degree, and you give the velocity u here. So the particle will execute its motion like this. This is our axis, this is our y-axis, this is a plane. This is the horizontal surface. Now suppose it, if you throw from here, it will cover till this surface, and in this way the projectile motion can happen. Means, so now if you see the trajectory projectile motion on a parabolic path, on parabolic path. So path of the projectile is always a parabola. Path of the projectile is always a parabola. What is the meaning? Here g acts on this axis only, downward direction. G downward direction. Here g downward direction. But the initial velocity is not 0 degree. Sorry. Not 180 degree like this. If we throw in the direction of the acceleration just vertically upward, it will execute on a straight line motion. So that has not to be there. And if we throw at the angle of 90 degree, it will also not execute the projectile motion. So now see what is the case. Now we shall discuss, we shall derive some equations that will designate the projectile motion, that will show the characteristics of the projectile motion. So write it down. We shall remove it from here, and we shall proceed further by deriving some good equations of motion. Write it down. Fine. Now see what happens. Now suppose this is our y-axis and this is our x-axis. G in downward direction, our y-axis, x-axis. A particle is given a velocity. A particle is given a velocity u that makes an angle of theta with the horizontal x-axis. What will happen? This particle will follow this particular path. It will start from here and it will finish its motion at there on the ground surface. Now it is our origin O, right? You can see here initially the particle's height is increased till now. Here it is maximum, and after that it decreases. So now if we see that this is the maximum height, this is max height, right? This is maximum height. Now this thing is known as point of projection. Point of projection. Point of projection means the point from where the particle is thrown. This particular distance covered on the horizontal axis is known as horizontal range or range, horizontal range, or simply we say it range and we shall denote it by r. Fine. The theta means the angle that initial velocity makes with the horizontal direction is the angle of projection. Angle of projection. That is fine. This is the angle of projection. Theta here if you see theta 0 degree less than 90 degree. It has to occur. We can say 180 degree. But here in this case, in this particular case, if we are taking the positive x and positive y only to discuss the motion, if we are taking positive x and positive y for discussing the motion, this is followed. Otherwise, for the definition, we can take the negative x direction. Also, the particle can have the velocity on that particular direction. But here we are devoting our lectures, we are restricting our lectures with two axes, positive x and positive y. So, we shall see by the derivation that t time t1 taken by the particle from this point of projection to reach its maximum height h, and then to reach from maximum height to the ground means t2. Here we shall see that the t1 is equal to t2 and the total time taken t equals to t1 plus t2, and that is total time. So we shall derive all these things, but how we shall derive all these things? Now suppose ki how we discuss these things. So now it is an example. Now we can draw freely because we must have the practice. This is our u, this makes an angle, and this is theta, like this. This makes an angle theta. This is our x-axis and this is our y-axis, right? Under the gravity, this is our x-axis and this is our y-axis, right? This is x and y, both are perpendicular to each other. X-axis take on horizontal and y-axis take it vertical. You shall get x and y, simply x and y. So now what are the things, what concept we have to apply to learn this motion, and that will be included when we shall be deriving some equations of motion for the projectile motion. So what we do, this is the combination of two axes. Two dimensional motion means two axes are required to discuss the motion of a particle. For that purpose, when two axes are required to discuss the motion of the particle, we have to write the equation separately on x and y axis. Fine. So now see the case. X-axis and y-axis, right? X-axis and y-axis. When we talk about x-axis, u has a component here, u cos theta, because this u makes an angle theta with this axis, u cos theta in this direction and u sin theta in this direction. So here we shall write only the magnitude. So when we write magnitude, ux equals to u cos theta and uy equals to u sin theta, where theta is an angle, theta is the angle that makes with horizontal x-axis. Now if you take about ax equals to what? Ax equals to acceleration on x-axis. So since there is no force on x-axis, कोई फोर्स नहीं काम कर रहा है, no force acting on this x-axis, so ax here is 0. And now if you talk about ay is g under the effect of gravity in the negative direction. So if we have not taken vector sign, that's why it is g, otherwise it will be minus g. So in downward direction it is minus g, and in upward direction it is downward direction plus g and upward direction minus g. So these are the two equations. Time is the same for both x-axis and y-axis at any time. We can see that at any time the time is same for both The total time here is also t, total time here is also c. Then now how we shall derive these things when the particle is thrown? So now I am removing all these things. We shall have this picture only, removing all these things, and we shall write down the equation. So just see, write it down. This is our horizontal range, everything, that is fine, that is fine. I am removing all these things. We don't have to have such kinds of things, and we shall derive the equations from here. We shall derive the equations from here. So here we have u cos theta, and in this direction we have u sin theta. So we shall, what you have, this is our x-axis, this is y-axis, and we have ux equals to u cos theta, uy equals to u sin theta, ax equals to 0, ax equals to g. When we talk about the, so what will be the equations? When we write the equation, we can write from here Vx equals to ux plus ax into t, s equal to sx equals to uxt plus half ax into t square, and vx square equal to ux square plus 2ax into x. These are the three equations that we shall write for the x-axis. For the y-axis, we shall be writing Vy equals to uy plus ay into t, sy means displacement in y direction, uy into t ut plus half ay into t square, and Vy equals to uy square plus 2ay into y. So these are the sets of equations. So we have now 6 equations, 3 equations, v equals to u plus at s equal to ut plus half at square, and v square equal to u square plus 2as. These are the 3 equations that we shall separately apply, separately write the value of ux, ui, ay, t will remain same, and everything, and then we shall be using this equation. When we have to discuss something, we have to find out something, we have given the parameter that can be applied on the x-axis, we shall use these 3 sets of equations, and when we are dealing with the y-axis, we will be using these 3 sets of equations. So the sets of equations for x-axis and y-axis are totally different. I mean, equations are same, nature of equations are same, but different equations, we shall be using it. So write it down and now see how we are able to derive something for this equation. So these are the basic simple equations I am removing from here, and we shall be using the derivation to understand the motion. So now total time t is known as the time of flight for the projectile. So first thing that we shall use, that we shall calculate, is the time of flight. Time of flight means t. So now tell me what kind of equation you shall use here to find the time of flight. What kind of equations we shall use here to find the time of flight? So now see, if you consider this motion on the y-axis, from here the particle starts its motion and again it comes there, So displacement in y direction is what? 0. The Sy is 0. Uy we have already written u sin theta. Ay is equals to minus g. Then total time t. So what we have? Sy equals to uyt plus minus half ayt square. So now 0 equals to u sin theta into t minus half g into t square. Fine. So now you have to find the value of t. How we shall find? It's simple one. So now that's implied, take t common. T equal to u sin theta minus half g t equals to 0. So now from here t equals to 0. T equals to 0 means when the particle is thrown. See here, it is at the displacement of 0 about the vertical axis, and now u sin theta minus half gt equals to 0. So now from here you can see that half gt equals to u sin theta, and now t equals to 2u sin theta upon g. Remember this equation. We shall write here ki total time t, when total time t is taken, 2u sin theta upon g. So total time taken means t1 plus t2. When we talk about total time, it is t equal to 2u sin theta upon g. 2u sin theta upon g. Fine. Now see the second thing, how we can find out the horizontal range. Now we are in position to find out horizontal range. Horizontal range horizontal range R. Horizontal range R. R means we have to show on x-axis. We have to show on x-axis. So the total time is t. In time t, the particle starts its motion from O, and let's say it at A. Suppose A is the final point that the particle is going to finish its motion on the surface of the earth. You can see that this is our range. Means we have to apply the equations of motion on x-axis. We have to apply the equations of motion on x-axis. So just write the equations for the x-axis. What we can write? We have Sx equals to r will be here. R we have to find out. Ux equals to u sin theta. Ax equals to 0. And now we have t. T equals to what? 2u sin theta upon g. 2u sin theta upon g. So now r equals to uxt plus half axt square. Ax is 0, so this term is obviously 0. R equals to u cos theta into t plus 0, because ax is 0. So now put the value of t. R equals to u cos theta into 2u sin theta upon g. So what we can write from here? R equals to 2u square sin theta and 2 cos theta upon g. That means R equals to u square, and 2 sin theta into cos theta means sin 2 theta upon g. So now we shall write another equation. We have derived the equation for range, where R equals to u square sin 2 theta by g. Sin 2 theta by g. We shall discuss lot of things but here we are deriving the equation first. So we have got total time t, we have got the horizontal range r. Now see how we can find out the value of maximum height. Fine. So write it down. We shall remove. Now we have to find out maximum height. Maximum height h. When we talk about maximum height h, means we have to apply the equation for y-axis. So now what happens? Just see. When the particle reaches at the maximum height, it has the velocity in this direction only. Draw the tangent at the point. We have already discussed in previous lectures that when we talk about the two-dimension tangent, at any point gives the direction of the velocity. So here the velocity has the x component only, y component of velocity is 0. Fine. So at maximum height, at max height, particle has only x component of velocity. Here y component of velocity is 0. Means when we talk about the y-axis, we have uy equals to u sine theta, ay equals to minus g, and vy equals to 0. Vy equals to 0. So now write the equation. What equation? Vy equals to uy plus 2ay into y. Here we have to find out the y. What is the value of y? Means h. So now putting all these value 0, uy means u sine theta ka square minus 2 into g and h. What is the value of y? H. That we have considered a maximum height. So it is easy from here. 2gh equals to u square sine square theta. So now h equals to u square sine square theta by 2g. So now we shall again have another value h. H equals to what? U square sine square theta by 2g. So we have got the three equations. We have got these three equations for time, total time, time of flight, for horizontal range and maximum height. At maximum height, at the maximum height, the particle has only ux. Uy is 0. They do not have ux. Actually, ux will not keep changing. I shall discuss all these conceptual points. First, let us derive some equations. Now, equation for trajectory. Equation for trajectory means this is the path. This is the path of the particle that we have analyzed. We have to prove that this is the path of the parabola. This is a parabolic path that we have to decide. So what we shall do? We shall write the equation on the y-axis. What is the equation on y-axis? Y equals uy t plus half ay into t square. So at any point, at any time x is what? A is 0 means ux t plus half ax t square. At any time t, suppose here, any point, at any point, what do we consider? X equals to u cos theta into t plus 0 because ax is 0. So t equals to x by u cos theta, and that t will be placed in this particular equation. So what will happen? Y equals to u sin theta, uy is u sin theta into t means x by u cos theta minus half g, and t means x squared by 2 cos theta square. What do we have? U cancel from here. Tan theta into x minus one by 8 like this. T square, t is x by u cos theta only. Why I have written 2? That's why I was confused. U cos theta means half g by u square cos square theta into x square. Now you can see here the power of x is 2 and it is y. So in this chapter graph, when I was dealing with the graph, the concept of graphs, what I explained, if there are two variables and equations are like this in such a way that the one has the power of 2 and another has the power of 1, this denotes a parabola. So this denotes a parabolic equation. This denotes a parabolic equation. So we have proved that the trajectory of the particle, of the projectile, is parabolic. So we shall restrict ourselves here. A lot of things has to be discussed. Let us consider one more thing. What happens now? Suppose we have all these things. Since we shall remove, I am removing from here, and we shall discuss one more thing. Means as there is no force on x direction, so no acceleration in x direction, and velocity along the x direction or the horizontal direction remains constant. Means here ux, what we say it u cos theta, it's a constant value. You can see that it's a constant value, it can never change because there is no force acting on the x direction, but y direction we have the force of g, mg, means gravitational force is acting here, g is in downward direction. That's why here the y direction change. It means what I want to say, if this is the path of the particle and particle starts from here and it has u cos theta as the initial velocity in x direction, u cos theta initial velocity at this point, the particle has tangent will be drawn in this mean. It means the particle has some another velocity, suppose v. So v has two components, x and y. So this component v, suppose this is alpha, cos alpha, means v cos alpha equal to u cos theta. Means if it has, suppose you calculate the value, if it is 20 meter per second, it is always 20 meter per second. It is always 20 meter per second. So this component here, this component is the same. At any time ux has to be same, meaning that what I want to say, at any point if you draw the projectile, here it is u, then it is ux initial velocity, here it is ux, if it is drawn here, here it is also ux. If you draw here, it is ux. If you draw here, it is ux, means ux at each and every point of the projectile at each and every time is constant, meaning that x component of the projectile, x component of the velocity is not going to be changed. X component of the velocity is not going to be changed. It has to be constant here. So I am restricting this lecture here. I hope you all have enjoyed this. A lot of points have to be covered further. We shall discuss all these things in the next lecture that is going to be uploaded tomorrow itself only. So till now, enjoy the lectures. Thank you very much.